Our last Mercury retrograde of the year is starting tomorrow, December 13th, in Capricorn. So, Mercury retrograde is a time for introspection. And oftentimes it gets a bad rap because Mercury is also the sign of communication, of like just kind of how we interact with the world around us. And so during this time, when Mercury is in retrograde, you may be quick to respond to emails. There might be miscommunication, written, verbal. You might find yourself late to things being delayed. It is a time for you to be extra aware of how you're communicating. If you're signing any important documents, make sure that you double, triple check all that information and make sure you have extra time to get to the places that you want to get to. And when Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Capricorn, it is a deeply reflective period of time around career and success. So, coupled with the fact that we have a new moon in Sagittarius today on December 12th, and Venus is in Scorpio, this week really is about contemplation and intentionality about how we move forward in our lives, personally and professionally. So, with Mercury retrograde starting tomorrow, you've already been feeling this, but there'll be a spotlight on career. You might be experiencing some existential crises, contemplating like, are you working too hard? Are you working in the right ways? And also, exploring themes around success and external validation and really asking yourself, are you just working to work? Are you achieving just to achieve? Or is there some more intention around that really aligns with your values, your truth, your purpose? And so we'll spend the next couple of weeks in a deeply reflective mood. And during this time, be mindful about any decisions you make and any type of thinking you have around your career, the progress that you've made, what you've been able to achieve in your business, if you have your own business, and just being extra compassionate and patient with yourself during this time. Especially if you have Capricorn placements that are quite prominent. So sun, moon, rising, or north node, you may find yourself being hypercritical and being like, oh, I wish I had gotten more done, or I don't feel like I'm really where I want to be in my business or career. Like, be curious instead of judgmental. Shifting the energy and the focus is going to be very important. And all this thinking is going to be really wonderful for the start of the year, because in January, all these things that you've been thinking about in December, these insights will really bring around a lot more clarity. So I would even say, like, any intentions you set right now, really, reflect upon them in the new year. So if you sign up for my new year intention setting sound bath this month, or even in early January, make sure you re-listen throughout January, because you'll be able to get the replay. Okay, so that's a bit about Mercury retrograde. And with Venus in Scorpio, we are integrating the lessons from these last 2 years, and you can check the last podcast episode around that. And in this integration, sometimes, in the next few weeks, because it'll be in this sign for the rest of the month, you may feel triggered. Sometimes some old habits might be surfacing in terms of feeling quite emotional, maybe having some difficulties with intimacy, being vulnerable. Maybe some things are being brought up around like relationships, your closest relationships, around like money and resources, like how much you are giving, how much you are receiving. And being extra mindful of any emotional outbursts, managing your energy, managing your emotions, practicing emotional regulation is going to be key. And asking yourself, like, if you are coming into conflict, is this a time for you to try to open your heart and to be more vulnerable to build intimacy? And with the new moon in Sagittarius today on December 12th, we are being asked to plant new seeds around freedom and liberation at the individual level and the collective stage too. And Sagittarius is a very complex sign in terms of there is a duality. It is the life of the party. People love having Sagittariuses at social gatherings, but also it is very, very deeply reflective. It is a sign? It is a sign related to higher thinking, higher education, philosophy, and religion, spirituality. So you can plant some seeds around how you can deepen your connection to a higher power, to your higher self, and to reframe, rethink how you are living and being. Maybe you want to work in a different way. Maybe you think there's a different way of being. So maybe reflecting upon kind of your own like patterns of thinking, your mindset, and how you determine your reality, and asking yourself, well, this is how I am right now, but how would I like to be that allows me to be more expansive, creating some spaciousness in the mind, the body, and the spirit, and really exploring kind of some of the neural pathways that have been a bit entrenched, some of the patterns of thinking that no longer serve you, and really opening yourselves to other possibilities. And this is a good time to read books around philosophy, about religion, kind of seeing people in your life digitally or in person who kind of are living a life that you're quite curious about, and some qualities that you would like to have for yourself. And know that the intentions you set today are going to be manifested in the coming 6 months and really coming to a culmination point when the full moon is in Sagittarius in 6 months. So this week, take extra time to reflect, find ways to slow down, and to be the observer of your thoughts and the situations that you are in. And if you don't know your placements, because those who have like Sagittarius and Scorpio and Capricorn placements, they're going to be really affected like this week. I invite you to look at your free career astrology report. If you haven't gotten yours yet, go to yoursaturn.com. This is also going to be linked in the show notes. And I have an upcoming free career astrology 101 workshop as well. It's going to be on Thursday, December 21st. Replay is available. And the focus on this one is going to be finding your next job. Could be a bridge job as well. Something to get you where you are to really where you want to be. So don't miss that free workshop. I really recommend that you get your expanded report before the workshop so that you have extra information and insights to make the most out of this free workshop. The link to get your free and expanded report are going to be in the show notes as well. And of course, all of my upcoming events for New Year intention setting sound bath and this really cool Instagram live that I'll be hosting next week about epigenetics with one of the healers that I've been working with this year from Body Intuitive. Her name is Laura. Dr. Laura is one of the founders of Body Intuitive. I really loved working her with this year. I feel like I've made such incredible progress in relieving some physical ailments that I have and really moving forward in my business. So lots of things coming up. Check the show notes for everything that I'll be hosting in the coming weeks, a lot in the month of December. And let me know how this Mercury retrograde is treating you as we move through it through the rest of the month. You can find me on Instagram at WOOWOOCO, or just respond to one of the weekly emails that I send out on Tuesdays. I'll respond to you. All right. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and stay safe out there during these current transits.